You know what day it is. You know what time. It's time for Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie. I'm your trippy hippie Alicia, jumping on the mic from good old Utah. Here with my co-host.
Oh, that's me. Your favorite blonde, Sarah.
We're joined tonight by the epic and awesome MMA fighter, Stockton Weese. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm living the great American dream, ladies. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're getting ready to prepare for this upcoming fight, and we're excited to have you on the show. Learn a little bit.
Where's the applause button?
Applause.
Yay! Yay! Where's
Round of applause.
Golf claps.
for Stockton?
Yes. But before we jump in, it's an 18 and up podcast. We curse like sailors. We talk everything controversial, difficult, or taboo. So life. We don't want to be responsible for your children saying fuck or goddamn, so tune in on your own time.
No filters.
Yeah. We're going to talk about
Why not?
kicking some fucking ass today. So strap in.
I mean,
Tonight, we're drinking straight from the bottle. What are we drinking tonight, Stockto?
We are drinking some proper 12 Irish whiskey. It only seemed fair. Conor McGregor's whiskey, MMA podcast, or drinking podcast.
Yep, there you go.
To have the MMA whiskey. So
I like it.
we're here. Would you ladies like to try some? Oh, you can.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Straight from the bottle. Let's go. Let's go.
Can I have some of your Coca-Cola? Mama raised a little bit of a drinking bitch.
Yeah. And aren't you like Irish?
I am
and,
Irish.
like Italian and all that shit.
But if you were here last night, later into the night, you would have realized we drank like fish. So that was hard.
You want to do the Coke first and then the?
I don't know. I want to do
Probably.
it at all. But we
You want to do like the Coke first and then the whiskey, so you're not like straight. But why you guys have like, what is that? What is that? I don't know. What? A chaser. Oh my God.
Wow.
Chaser.
Brain
Wow.
is hard.
Why use a chaser? Is that
Yeah.
what you're asking?
I've never done a
Why
chaser.
use a honey?
Girl.
This will put hair on your chest.
So
A drinking straight out of the bottle put hair on your chest, but that's not.
it's only a little
I don't
burn.
need any more of that.
It gives you a slow burn all the way down.
Whiskey does warm you up. Like if you're
I do
skiing,
like a good Jameson.
I'll take a straight shot, no chaser.
Bring
and
a
I'm
little
like,
flasky.
yeah, no, like on the real, that's actually perfect for that.
Well, I think I'm like a borderline like wannabe alcoholic pre-pregnancy.
I think you just missed drinking.
Girl, you have no freaking. I'm gonna be like the biggest lightweight. Even Chase was like, "Babe, you're gonna be a lightweight." I know. I had a really good tolerance, and then shit went to. The day before I found out I was pregnant, I had 2 big ass margaritas. I was 7 weeks pregnant.
It was like the universe was like, "Yeah, it's okay.
Enjoy it.
Have these last
I
ones."
was like, I do not feel good.
How
I'm
did you
bloated.
find out though? I'm curious.
So
Because 7 weeks, that means you missed a period, right?
I missed 2.
Okay.
So I just got birth control, and the reason I was on birth control is to like regulate my periods. And I was like, well, I just got off of it. It's fine. So I was like bloated. My boobs hurt. I was emotional. I'm like, I'm going to start. I'm starting soon, right? My pants didn't fit. I was wearing high-waisted pants, and I was like, my pants are too tight. I was like, I don't feel good. I'm like, I'll have a margarita from Chili's, please.
Can I get the fishbowl size, please?
Yeah, honestly. So I went, yeah. The bigger, the better. Like 6 straws are all for me. Thank you. But
I ain't sharing, Chase. Back the fuck
I
up.
don't know. No, Mama don't share no good drinks. But I went to work the next day and I had a mini meltdown. And my brother looks at me and he goes, "You're not pregnant, are you?" And I was like, no.
What gave him the indicator?
Because I was bawling my eyes out and I never do that.
Oh, okay.
She's
yeah.
like,
She's
I
stoic.
I had like a legit mental, I was like bawling. And he's like, "Are you?" I'm like, "I don't know what the hell." And he's like, "You're not pregnant." And I'm like,
I just love
"Shit,
you.
I don't know." So I went home to a pregnancy test. Nothing. I don't think I've ever seen a blue line show up faster in my life.
What was
Than
your
it
reaction?
did.
Just like, oh, bro, you were
I said,
right.
"Oh shit," and then I had another mental breakdown
And this
because
is
I
your
was
first
like,
child?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
okay,
fine.
keep going. Sorry.
I had another mini mental breakdown because I was like, "Oh God, we're pregnant. What are we gonna do?"
We're doing the damn thing.
Because Chase was like, at first, he's like, "Babe, I don't know if we can do this. We can't get pregnant." And I'm like, "We'll be fine. We'll figure it out." And I got pregnant. And I was like, "Shit."
And
This got
as
real.
you all know, listening, you fucking know that Sarah can keep a secret.
I can. I'm a very good.
She
secret
kept it a
keeper.
secret for
Ever.
3 months.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Oh, I was
But
going to
see-
say, sound like you didn't know.
But
I
it was
didn't.
nice because I didn't get sick. If I had morning sickness, it would have been way harder. But literally, this pregnancy, my God, she loves me. Okay.
She says this pregnancy, like you can tell there's already number 2, number 3.
Well, I definitely want two.
Wait until you have one.
I know, but
Ali-
she's gonna need a friend.
Alicia, after one, are you like game on, or are you like
But
no?
see, you want another one. Yeah. Don't you want Ellie to have another like sibling to hang
He
out with?
does.
Another one that he actually can see and hang out with.
Maybe someday, but not anytime soon.
He needs a dog before he needs a sibling.
Yep. Anyone want a cat? Gotta get rid of him. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Lola. Poor
She's-
Lola.
She threw up all over my shag carpeted rug today. And you know, with you, TMI
Shag.
guys,
It's shag.
but it gets so deep in there
'Cause
that
it's
you're trying
shag.
to scrub it out. And she's watching me clean it up, and she's like, meow. I learned that cats don't communicate through meowing to each other. Did you know that?
No.
Cats meow to get attention from human beings. It's a fucking
How do
trick.
cats communicate with cats?
They're like purring and like,
Did you know their purr is like the equivalent of a Cummins truck purr?
What?
It's like when you hear a Cummins truck and it's like idling. Yeah,
Yeah, the big
that's
deep-
like the
Oh, it's
same,
the same frequency.
So the sine
Yes.
waves are the same.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The
Okay.
frequency. Cats are weird.
They're fucking weird. She's
She's
meowing
watching
at
you.
me while I'm cleaning this fucking rug, like meow, meow, rubbing up on me. I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
She's like, yeah, bitch.
I'm
clean
upset
up
at
my-
you.
Clean up my throw up.
It is getting way too. Anyways, we here. We here.
Don't you love that? Animals like my dog will come home and the trash will be all out and he'll come home, look at me like with this face of, dude, someone came in here and did this. Can you believe this?
He's like, oh my God.
Who did this? And then he'll act guilty. But anyway,
Guilty.
That's cute.
No, so tell me, Stockton, for those that don't know a lot about MMA specifically, I want you to tell me a little bit about it. I know one of the biggest loaded questions is, hey, you do UFC, right? A lot of people get that confused. So what's the biggest difference between the two?
so it's funny. I get that all the time. So like I even have fight nights with my friends. So UFC is like the biggest promotion. It's like the NFL or like the NBA. It's
that-
like,
yeah,
for
okay.
the sport, that's the name. But MMA is still like a new sport. It kind of started in 1995 to 2000. Because you had
sense.
you had all these different styles. Like you had karate people, jiu-jitsu people, you had boxers, right? And back in the day, it was like you train at our gym and you master this skill because it's the best, and you don't need to know anything else because this is the best. So like if you trained at 2 gyms and like you know like your trainer found out, they'd be like, no, you can't come here anymore. It's
You
like
can't learn jujitsu because you're doing karate.
yeah, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so when MMA started, the UFC was like, hey, let's test out what's the best. And so they put the karate dude against the jiu-jitsu guy and the boxer versus the kickboxer. And, you know, XYZ, they all mixed and matched, and MMA became its own style of fighting, mixed martial arts. Like, okay, if we're going to put all these guys together, what really works? And so, yeah, that's kind of how it got started. The UFC's the most popular one, but yeah.
Because it's like been around, so like you know UFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're like MMA, you're like, oh, so UFC, and you're like,
No.
MMA.
I know. I tell people I have an MMA fight. They're like, "Oh, you got a UFC fight?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm not on E ESPN."
You're like, if
Like-
it was UFC, I would call it UFC.
Well, when I first met you, you told me a couple times what you did, and I always got them confused in the beginning. I was like, UFC, right? Yep. That's it.
Yeah, dumbass.
Yeah, people say that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just driving around in the Porsche, you know, I'm one of the best in the world. Just
Like,
out
I'm
here
not
in the
even-
streets of Layton, Utah, you know, chilling, doing my thing, working at Pinterest.
You're like, how do you
Pro-
not know me?
Professional MMA fighter.
That's what you do, huh? For work, you work at Pinterest.
I work at Pinterest. It's
What's
I
your
love
official job
Pinterest.
title?
I'm a partner manager. So
Ooh,
Ooh,
look
Well,
at you.
fancy.
everyone's like, what do you do? And I'm like, so basically people who have account on Pinterest and they want to get exposure, make sure their ads are being seen, you know, and like, they're like, hey, we have women's clothes. Can you make sure like people see it when they search women's fashion? I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
that's
do
cool.
that. I
So,
guess.
yeah, it's,
So we should make one.
That's what
Hey.
I've been
he
telling her, I
Hey.
was like, she was talking about making candy, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, some Hard Talk candy, that's some great brand awareness, just general, because people are going to know your brand. Yeah, it's Hard Talks.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well,
Yeah.
we've
kind
had
of
a
candy
couple
is it?
people
Shirts?
inquire about, hey, you doing merch? And
We
I was
should.
just like, don't plant that seed because then the ball is gonna start rolling.
I like it. I know people.
We know people.
My heart hurts.
We know people. Ring,
Well,
ring.
Well, like, you know, to like.
Do it all.
Personally, for merch, like you were talking about candy, though, like
It's
I'm
like
lazy.
the bracelets for like festivals. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
or
you don't know
handmade-
what candy is.
And like for me, I'm like, I never want to make that, but if I could just buy one,
That would be cool.
yeah.
Because you can make, because you already make them anyways.
Especially because I love to trade them. I'd buy like five of them and be like, oh, I'm gonna trade these, and then I'll tell
Yeah.
people about the podcast.
You do peace, love, unity, and respect. And when you trade, you be like, are you ready for some hard talks?
Because you can even like make like a little,
boom.
like, get your little.
Yeah, send us an email at
What is
hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com to
What do you want on a
yeah,
shirt?
ooh,
Stamina.
stamina. Since
Stamina.
Sarah cannot fucking say it right.
What kind
can't.
of like apparel would you want or accessories?
I want to
Yeah.
do like beanies.
I think it all.
Maybe bandana. Maybe like a couple.
Stickers?
Fuck yes.
That would,
Actually, that would
would
probably be one of the first things we would do because
easier.
yeah.
I want to get a shirt
print
that
'em.
says stamina on it.
I don't get the stamina thing.
So it's you say it's stanima. That's how
like
you
that man can stand
Yeah,
them
we
up.
had
That's how you're supposed to say.
we
like,
had a
that's-
listener write in
I
giving
didn't know I
Sarah
was doing-
shit.
I didn't know. Thank you for correcting
Because every
me.
time she says the word, she says it incorrectly. So they
So I
were
say
making fun of her.
stamina?
Stamina. Yeah, that's what I was told.
Stanima.
Well, we're from
Stamina.
Utah, so we don't really pronounce. I mean, every
Mountains.
Yeah,
Layton.
say my name.
Stockton.
Oh wow, she said it right. No,
Well, that
most
was
people-
with a
yeah.
lot of focus.
That
Could you
was-
tell?
No,
Yeah,
even with like Layton, I don't even think about it and I say Layton all the
Layton.
time.
I guess she's most people like Stockton, and I'm like,
Talking.
yeah, there's
So
no
that's
T.
weird though.
There's never been
I've
one.
never
That's
called Stockton without a T.
Yeah, a lot
Oh,
of people
that's
do.
so fucking
I
funny.
even catch myself. I'll go to state when I lived in Oregon. What's your name? I'm Stockton. You
Stockton.
what? Stockton. Sorry.
So you're like, I'm
Oh,
Stockton.
like, and I'll be like, yeah, like John Stockton, and I'm not in Utah anymore. They're like, who the fuck's John Stockton? I'm like, oh, the guy who lost to Michael Jordan. You don't know about the loser, the next best guy? They're like, okay, yeah, you're from Utah. Are you Mormon? I'm like, okay.
Like
Of
how many
course
wi-
I
like, How many
am.
wives do you have? And you're like, 5.
Currently with 3, it's like having 3 broken limbs. One's bad enough, but I had to get 2 more. You know, just sign me up.
In the reader world, we call that a reverse harem.
Oh my god.
The reader world. Mm-hmm. Are you?
I
a
would
reader?
love
She-
me a reverse harem.
Has an addiction to
Romance.
erotica novels. She.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not a secret. People think it's a secret. It's really
no,
not.
a lot of
Sorry,
people
man.
really love that about her.
I've met so many of Alicia's friends lately. I forgot. She's told me about this. So you're Miss 50 Shades of Grey.
No,
No,
she's
that's like
missed.
child's
I want to
play.
read about a fucking gangbang.
So like
and
I read a book where like 3 guys and 1 girl.
Sarah.
But you know, I have my little best friend in Texas, Jessie. I freaking love your face.
Shout out to you,
So,
girlfriend.
She's like my
Did-
girl.
So like curious, like you read it, is it just like, wow, this is fascinating that people do this, or are you like, oh, I want to be in that like
Let me-
position, curious,
Little
or
bit of both.
you don't have to answer that. That might be.
Let me cut you
No.
off there because Sarah is vanilla.
Very vanilla. But me and Chase, like, we were gonna try it, but then he's all like, "No, I'm pregnant." He's like, "I don't want to hurt you or the baby." I'm like,
It's good for the baby.
"It's fine. We'll be fine."
It's good for your body.
You know.
Yellow.
I mean, I read erotica books to get ideas. Chase gets a little, he's like, I don't want to hurt you or freak you out. I'm like, well, try it and we'll see what happens. But really fast, I found this really funny thing on Pinterest. Well, I found a couple of things, but this one I thought was funny. Dolphins have bromances. Like, so in which...
I feel like I knew that.
So, like, two males will pair up as long as 15 years and help each other hook up with females.
Jesus.
So they're like, you're like dolphins have wingmen.
So would you say that it's wingmen or they're
Bromances?
bisexual?
Aren't they? There's like a isn't there a mammal out there that they are?
I don't know.
No, there's there's either like a fish or, remind me if I'm wrong, that can change their sex.
I've heard that too, but I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Is it a frog?
No.
Is it a fish?
Let's Google it.
You're gonna Google that?
So clownfish wrasses, I don't know how else you would pronounce that, WRASSES, moray eels, gobies, and other fish species are known to change sex, including reproductive functions. So yeah, you were right.
I kind of figured that.
A school of clownfish is always built into a hierarchy with a female fish at the top. When she dies, the most dominant male changes sex and takes her place. That's fucking wild.
Too bad we can't do that in real world.
That information is coming from wikipedia.org. So.
Oh, who knows what that shit got? Like going on Wikipedia, like I'm gonna just change this really fast. Just let me write. And like Sarah has big boobs.
Sarah has enormous boobies.
Sarah has enormous boobies, but she really has really small ones. That's fine.
So, when and how did you get into this sport? What do you love about it?
So the way I got into it was funny. So I've always watched it. I played the video games originally, and I'd see commercials, and one day I just kind of watched it, and it kind of captivated. I didn't become a fan, but so I don't like working out. Like I like being in shape, but like lifting weights, I feel like you need a friend to do it. So I had more money than I needed at the time. And I'm like, I'll just pay for a personal trainer. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go to a boxing gym was my first thought. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to box.
No.
It'd be cool to learn to how to kick people and box and maybe take someone down. And so I went to an MMA gym and I just walked in there and I'm like, hey, do you do one-on-ones? And he was like, yeah. And so I just started doing that to get in shape. And I was talking to the trainer. I'm like, hey, what's a good goal? Because, I'm trying to get in shape. I need a little better discipline. Working out helps with that. What's a good goal? He's like, hey, let's have you have a goal to take a fight. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, any, let's say 6 months or a year. He's like, it's a long-term goal, and then we can just make a lot of short-term goals. You'll have to work on your fitness. You'll have to work on your... So you come in here and you'll be like, okay, I need to get better at boxing.
Yeah.
I need to work on my footwork. He's like, it'll just give you good goals, and it'll keep you in shape. And I'm like... Cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome.
And then before COVID happened, he was like, let's get you I was like, let's get me a fight. And I'm like, okay. And I tried really hard, and then COVID happened. Nothing could happen. And then the end of the year happened. He's like, hey, I think there's fights are going to happen. Do you want to get a fight? And I was like, sure. And so I tried to get on the first card, and it didn't happen. And we didn't even know if it would, and it actually did. And he's like, hey, I can't get you a fight on the first one, but can you do you want to fight in June? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's great.
Yeah, let's do it. So anyway,
So
sorry.
what does it mean for you to be a fighter then? If that what does it mean for you to be a fighter?
Personally.
Personally.
For me personally, everyone always talks oh, you're a fighter, so all the punches, kicks, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I have technique, but for me, the definition of a fighter is to keep going when it's easier to quit. In the gym, the coach always stresses I want your hardest times to be in here. That way in the fight, it's easy. So it's basically, I think about it, if you take all the way the talent, the skills, the training, and you're super tired or you're in a do or die situation, someone breaks in your home, you're going to have that fight.
Yeah.
And you're not going to quit. So that's how I look at it. If I'm being tested and it's easier to just be dude, take my wallet. Or
That would be me.
still more. Or just when it's easier to quit and keep going. That's what I think fighting is. So it's not about the punches and kicks.
Yeah.
It's about respect.
No, it's not. It ain't about respect. We're trying to hit each other in the face. That's like the least respectful thing in the world. Like, I respect you, but I'm gonna try to knock you out. Like,
I'm gonna knock you.
Yeah, for
your
sure.
socks
Though.
off.
Like, you're like, I respect you enough to be like, you're a damn good fighter. You know? Like, hey.
I respect your skill set, so I'm gonna
There you
defend
go.
myself. But
You're like, I
Touch gloves.
I respect that punch you threw me. Thank you. I'm going to throw in 10 times harder.
So what weight classes are there and which are you in?
I fight at 145, and it's basically every 10 pounds until like 155. So it's like 125, 135, 145. Then it goes about every 15 pounds. 170, 185, 205, and then 220 and up. Really,
That's a big
Hang on.
yeah.
person.
The problem with
Jeez.
MMA is there's not enough weight classes because they don't want there to be like 20 champions because then
Right.
it's like, what does it mean to be a champion? But at the same time, like, it's a matter of fact, like, can a superly good trained 120-pound guy beat like a guy with 100 pounds at him at the bar? Yeah, probably for sure, but his chin's not any better. He can get knocked out. You know, like, anything can happen. But like when you have two trained people, if you have a 200-pound guy and a 100-pound guy, like, which way are you going to bet?
Yeah.
So that is one problem is there's not enough weight classes. So a lot of the times you are finding dudes that are like, you're like, dang, he's swole. He's been hitting the gym a lot more than me.
What would you say separates you from every other fighter in your division?
I'd say a big part of it is a lot of these kids like have a dream. They've grown up doing this since they were 2 years old, you know, or like this is their passion and like they love it. I'm like, I just like to compete, man. I like to test myself. I'm like, I'm not trying to go pro.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make I just want to go compete. Like I had enough balls in there to sign to one day just walk in there and like swing hands in front of like a drunken crowd.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the fear and more to test myself. So for me, it's like I'm doing it to enjoy and push myself, but I'm not expecting to go anywhere with this. Like I'm doing it just purely for fun. Like, yeah, if I make $100 to fight some dude on a Tuesday night, yeah, I'll go fight him on a Tuesday night.
Hell yeah.
But I think that's what really makes me unique is so many people are like, yeah, man, for life. And I'm like, I'm trying to get in the UFC. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
This is like, it's more like personal, like goal for you.
yeah, it's
Like, I
just,
just want to like have fun and, you know, maybe get lean and know how to throw a punch occasionally.
Well, and you've been
Yeah.
training for a couple of years now, right?
yeah, 2 years.
And this up and coming fight is June 18th, right? At the Union Events Center down in Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And if you want to see it on pay-per-view,
So I
we'll
think
link the show notes.
there is a pay-per-view. So the first couple fights are free and then like the last 5 you have to pay for. But it's basically just to support the locals. There is like just a televised stream. Sometimes it's pay-per-view, sometimes it's not. It's basically like, hey, if you have the money, you want to help us, cool.
Yeah.
If not, like, we want you to show these fights. We want to give these guys a platform to like be seen. It is the biggest fight promotion in Utah. So
And especially with those who are trying to get to the UFC too, like it helps them
Yeah.
to like promote them and like, hey, get out there.
Yeah.
I am a good
Because
fighter.
you said that you I literally just said that. you said that you were
Whoa.
training with like people since they have been like
two.
3. Yeah.
yeah.
Up in the gym, knocking people's blocks off.
Yeah, so we have people who've like grown up and it's like, what do you do? Like, hey, I train MMA. Like, oh, jiu-jitsu, boxing. Like, no, I just do MMA.
Yeah.
And they like trained for this for all their life. And we have like one really good kid that he's trying to get into UFC and he probably will. Like he really is that good. But it's hard in Utah because like there's not much of a platform because it's the Mormon state.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas is like the fight capital of the world. It's Las Vegas and New York. So
New York.
it's hard to get
Yeah.
That's random.
Madison Square
Yeah,
Garden.
no, not
Muhammad
random at
Ali.
all.
Well, for me, I guess it is. But
Yeah. So New York and Las Vegas are the two biggest. So people don't really look at the locals because they're like, I can go to the biggest promotion in the world.
yeah.
Why would I go like
Like, why would I find some little kid from Utah?
exactly? So that's Steel Fist does a really good job. It's awesome. To
That's
have
your
a
promoter,
promotion.
right?
Yeah, that's where I get in the fight. So they do amateur and pro fights.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because normally it's like pro or amateur.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to give everyone the chance. Anyone in Utah, you're in Salt Lake, you can get there, sign up, come.
That's awesome.
Well, and your friend Boston brought up a good question last night because I didn't realize the differences between like
Amateur.
what's allowed for amateurs versus professionals. So like tell us a few of the differences, like what's allowed when you're in the ring with somebody.
So when you're in the ring, it's funny because like your instructions, they're very limited. They're like, don't poke them in the eye, don't kick them in the nuts. You know, you can't like hook your fingers in their mouth. They're like, other than that, they're
Fair
like, you can do anything. They're like, as an amateur though, you can't kick them in the head.
Okay.
You can't knee to the head because like a knee is you can knee to the body. You can
You can kick them when they're down, right? Like
you can kick them when they're down, but not to the head.
okay.
That's like a pro and amateur rule. They're like, we don't need you soccer kicking some dude you just knocked out. Like that's just uncalled.
Yeah.
They're like,
That's a little
Overkill.
You're like, you're done.
But other than that, so no head kicks and you can't elbow or knee to the face just because that's very bony. That's gonna gash you. And amateurs, it's 3-minute rounds instead of 5 minutes. But besides that, almost anything goes. There's like a couple submissions to where like if you're wrestling and like you can snap someone's arm if you get them in this hold, right? Like that's okay. But there's somewhere it's like, oh, you can tear their knee apart. But a lot of those are advanced. And the problem with some of those moves is you don't actually know your knee's getting ripped apart until you try to stand on it.
Like that one guy, that video showed me when he kicked his leg. Didn't know he broke. You heard the crack, and then he steps on it. His leg just goes.
Oh god,
Yeah.
it was literally like the scene from the Harry Potter movie where his arm gets turned into like a noodle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
was,
god, it was
horrible.
horrible.
Should we put that in like our little notes so you can see that? if you
Yeah,
haven't
we'll link
seen it?
that YouTube video. Yeah,
Oh.
for
So
sure.
so it's this guy won a fight without throwing any strikes. This is a professional fight. It was like a month
What
ago.
was his name?
Uriah Hall beat Chris Weidman. So this All-American former champion Chris went to kick this guy, and the guy blocked it and made, instead of kicking him in the leg, he made him kick his knee. Well, your knee's like kicking concrete, and Chris hit him so hard that when he kicked it, his tibia and fibia snapped, and it folds. It literally folds like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And he goes to
Down.
step back on it. He doesn't even know his leg snapped, and it gives out. And
God.
yeah, so
I'm so sorry, my guy.
First record ever. No. Some dude won a fight without throwing a single strike. That'll probably never be beaten. That happened in 2021.
That's cool.
Ugh.
Poor guy, though.
That literally hurts
The crack.
me.
You can just
It
hear
was
it.
when you watch it, it's literally like whip, like
You hear the crack, and then you like watch him step down, and it's like his foot goes like complete opposite way of his body, and his like
we'll
knee
definitely
goes one
link
way.
that in the show notes because it's worth the
Oh,
watch.
for sure, for sure.
What blows me away though is like she said, you can hear it, and this isn't. I know COVID just happened, but it's actually like a live stadium with fans. Like people are cheering.
It's
the
loud.
fight's about to start. Like it's like a concert. Like it's loud in there, and you can still hear the
You
bones
hear
snap. You're
that
like
crack.
That literally
through the
like,
television,
makes me
you're like,
clench
That
everything.
it gives me the chills because I can just hear it. Still, you hear it is loud. Well, yeah,
it's a clencher.
his whole. It's not even like all the bones in his leg broke.
God
Okay.
damn it.
yeah.
So, in preparation for this fight, like, what's your training schedule been like?
So I try to train 4 days a week at least. And it's pretty like hard training because I have a fight. All my teammates and my coaches, they're pushing me. They're trying to get me to peak. It's very like high intensity. So it's not like come in here and like get a sweat. It's like, no, this gets you used to fighting, used to that pace. So when you're in there, it's not new. You're used to it. So it's not like, hey, let's work on skill, technique. It's like, hey, let's come in here and let's do the damn thing and get you used to that. So you can just go out there and do it like it's an everyday chore. But 4 days a week to about an hour and a half a day at least I try. So
That's not too bad.
And they have you do something different every day, right? One day you focus on jiu-jitsu, another day you focus on...
yeah, so like Monday it'll be like I'll focus on kickboxing and MMA.
Gotcha.
Tuesday it's all jiu-jitsu and like just cardio. Wednesday we do like sparring. And since I have a fight, what we'll do is it's 9 minutes total, 3-minute rounds, is they'll have me fight a fresh person every minute. Just to like conditioning for the cardio of like, and we call it Shark Tank. So the idea of Shark Tank is like, you're not going to win. If I fight someone every minute and they're brand new, The first 3
They're
minutes,
fresh,
it's
yeah.
going to be competitive, right?
Oh, for sure.
4th minute, less competitive. 5th minute, less. You know, it's just going to keep going down to by the end. I'm trying to survive, and they're like, hey, we want to push you the most in training, get you used to losing, to where if you really have to dig deep, it's not new. And so that's the hardest part of training. But aside from that, it's Wednesdays suck. The rest of the days are pretty fun.
You're
so.
like, hey.
Tell me a little bit about like cutting weight, because I know that could be a little controversial sometimes within the sport. I've known several people within my short little life who haven't cut weight in the most healthy of ways. So, do you have any like nutrition tips, proper ways to cut weight?
So, I mean, for the most part, everyone who does MMA, you're pretty active. You have a good enough diet.
Mm-hmm.
But when you cut weight, so you always hear about wrestlers cutting weight for matches. Boxers and MMA fighters, or boxers and kickboxers, they might do it, but they might cut like 5-10 pounds, right? Like, I need to get in a bit better shape. Let's be honest. You're never in the best shape you could be.
Yeah.
Where wrestlers are like, dude, I'm going to cheat the system. If I don't eat for 2 days, I chug a bunch of water, I sweat, because you can lose 10% of your body weight just by water weight. So a guy who's 200 pounds is like, if I get in really good shape, I don't eat a lot for 1 week before the fight, I can cut 10 pounds, then I can cut 20 pounds. So he's like, I can fight at 170. Then the day of the fight, he's 200 pounds. And that's a huge advantage, right? And so wrestlers do that. So in MMA, because people are wrestlers, like if you don't do it, you're at a disadvantage, because there might be 1 or 2 people who are not, but everyone's doing it. So I walk around at about 170. I'm fighting at 145. I'll weigh 145 for about an hour or two. And by the time I fight, I'm going to be 158, almost 160. And then the next week, I'm going to be 165, like I normally am, or bigger, and the only reason I'm doing that is because if I fight 170, I'm going to be fighting that 200-pound dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
that makes sense.
That's scary. I don't want to do that.
No.
So it's really stupid. They need to come in with the rule and be like, okay, you can't cut this much water. Like if they did a hydration test, like we understand you want to cut some weight, have an advantage, but you can't lose like 15% of your body weight.
Oh, that's wild.
Like
Yeah,
if you're
that's a lot.
210 and you're like, oh, I can reach 170, like if I just kill myself for 12 hours, like people pass out and stuff. It's bad. But
Yeah.
That
So,
would
I
be bad.
mean, healthier out, just cut out carbs and.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So for the most part, if with MMA, you're working out really hard every day. So what we do is the coach just tells you, hey, eat fats and proteins, just cut out carbs to like 80% a day, 60, 40, 20 to nothing, to make yourself run on fats and proteins, because then you'll cut the weight. Because you haven't ate it, your body's like, okay, I need to cannibalize a bit.
Yeah.
And it works, but it doesn't. If you stay on that and stay no carbs, you're going to stay lean. You're going to stay in great shape. But if you go back to eating carbs and have that be your main source of fuel, you'll gain the weight back. So
Cut the beers out, guys.
yeah,
I
that's the
need
hardest
to.
part.
So, I mean, how big of a factor is cutting weight? I know, like you were telling me, even if you're a couple pounds over your weight class, then they'll put you in a what's it called?
They'll do a catch weight. So in
Okay, yeah.
amateur, so in professional, if someone misses weight, they're like, okay, the bout's off. He cheated. This was the rules. There's very few rules. Don't kick him in the balls. Don't gouge him in the eyes. Show up on weight. It's like the 3 rules.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not hard to follow, people.
So if they don't show up on weight, it doesn't matter if he misses it by half a pound or 40. They'll be like, you can have 30% of his purse if you still want to fight him. Okay, yeah, I'm down for that. If you're pro, if you're amateur, they're like, you're not getting paid, because that's the definition of the amateur. If you get paid, it's now a professional fight.
Yeah.
So amateurs is like, oh, this guy missed weight by 12 pounds. Do you still want to fight him? You're like, dude, I just trained for 8 weeks. Like, yeah, but there's nothing happens. And the thing with cutting weight is, like I was saying, you dehydrate. And what it does is it just dries you out, kind of like a grape to raisin, then back to grape. You'll never be a full grape in a day. And it just,
I love that.
I like that.
but yeah, like you can
We'll put it on a
It's
shirt.
it's taking something
that
out of
down.
you. So like when you dehydrate yourself and take that water out, you're tired, you're weak, you're not 100%, but you're good enough. And if someone doesn't go through that, they're like, yeah, dude, I feel great. You're like, yeah, I'm at like 90%, but I have a 10-pound weight advantage. The other guy's like, I have a 10-pound weight advantage, but I'm not tired.
Yeah.
So it's when people miss weight, it sucks because it really is cheating because cutting weight is actually like does more damage than the fight. a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
the
wicked.
time.
That's hard on your
You
body.
need that stamina.
Standing
I don't know which is
That-
right
that-
anymore.
I don't know. Should I look them
We've
up?
fucked it up so much
freaking
that I don't know what the
Google
proper
this
way
shit.
is to say it anymore.
That's
Honestly.
the best thing for a fight. Practice that bedroom cardio. Solid hour and an hour and a half a day. If you can do that, then when you're in the ring, you got this.
Yeah, and if you can fit in, several hours to 6 or all day, get it in.
4 to 6 hour marathons. Then if you have to fight someone for 9 minutes, bro.
Every now and again, if you can hang by doing that, you can do anything. So,
Got the shit.
yep. Ring, ring, motherfucker.
Ring.
So, is it an expensive sport to get into? Like, would you say that people need prior experience to get into MMA?
Talking about M&Ms.
Yeah, please.
No, you don't. You don't need any experience. Any sport helps. If you're like, yeah, I played baseball. You're like, okay, you got good hand-eye coordination. That means you're going to have no problem hitting the target.
Right.
If someone's like, yeah, I played soccer, you're like, oh, you're used to running and you're going to be used to kicking. Anything helps. Any physical activity helps, but there's no requirements. You need a mouth guard, some boxing gloves, and some gym shirts and a t-shirt. And it is relatively cheap. Like, gyms are a little more expensive. It's not like, yeah, $20 a month. It's like, yeah, 60 you're getting training.
Yeah.
For your membership.
But at the same time, you're like, I'm also learning how to hurt someone. I'm getting one-on-one attention. Like, not necessarily one-on-one, but, you're like, there's a
More
group.
So.
Yeah, it's almost like CrossFit. Like, yeah, CrossFit's a little more expensive. Are you guaranteed more results than if you just buy a gym pass and don't show up? Yeah, so.
And you're just like, I pay by the month, but I'm going to go do arms for half a minute and then leave.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, is it...
Why am I not beefy yet?
It's not
Damn it.
expensive, so...
Oh. Do they require like a physical of fighters before bouts start for liabilities or for drug tests or
Yeah, so...
what's up with that?
They do. You have to do a blood test. They're like, okay, if you have like HIV and you're both in there bleeding, we can't.
PB?
Yeah, we can't have you shortening this dude's life because he wanted to scrap for a night when he was
Right.
But it's like hepatitis. They do blood tests like hepatitis, stuff like that. They do like a hernia check for like guys at least. They're like, okay, are you gonna go in there and like your intestines aren't gonna fall out? Like, are you in decent shape? The main thing is they do a head evaluation. Like, if you
I
have
want to make sure you don't die.
yeah, they're like, oh, you're epileptic. Sorry, a head kick to the face would not be good. We won't.
Not
clear
ideal,
you.
Chief.
But if you're like, okay, a knockout's not healthy, but you're healthy, like, yeah, can a person get knocked out and be fine? Yes. Do we recommend it? No. They basically just check, is there any like pre-existing condition where we could get in trouble for you fighting? They're like, okay, no, then they let you go.
That's good though.
Yeah, so it's just,
They don't want to get sued.
They want like, but like too, I think about like what if like the fighter goes in there and they like accidentally kill someone.
Well, and
Do you know what I
you
mean?
brought that point up because you said that more boxers die
yeah.
than those who are in MMA because of the continuous cushion blows to the head. Whereas you get knocked
One-
the fuck out a lot quicker
It's probably not because
in
your body's
MMA
just
and
like
UFC.
Yeah, like, so for those of you who don't know, in boxing, they have these big gloves. They're 16-ounce gloves. That's 1 pound. And it's a soft-ish. It's padded. It's a pad. So when you're hitting someone, you might have like the strongest dude in the world, but he's hitting you with just enough padding to where you're not getting knocked out, but your brain is bouncing and and it's constant brain trauma to where people...
stem can break off occasionally.
Yeah, to where people
Every now
die.
and
Yeah,
In MMA, you have a 4-ounce glove, which is just there to protect your knuckle.
Yeah.
Except you're hitting someone with a knee, full blown, or a shin.
Oh, God.
Like, feel your shin. That's like getting hit by a bat. So in
Right.
MMA, people get knocked out quicker, and they do get follow-up strikes, like unlike boxing, because they're on the ground. But because they turn off, yeah, they might get 2 or 3 hits, but in boxing, you might have a guy in there where if there was no gloves, he would have been knocked out 120 punches ago. But he's too tough that he's just like, no, I'm going to keep.
I'm still awake. I'm fine.
Yeah, to where he'll just take that constant damage, and then they die normally after. Like, they'll be knocked out and alive, but their brain just can't recoup.
Yeah, I follow that MMA medic on Instagram, and that shit is brutal. Some fuckery be happening to people. Like, and that poses like my next question. A lot of people ask if it's worth it or not. Like, obviously, professionals who are big time in the sport are making mad money per fight, but the wreckage on your fucking body, like, is it worth it?
So if you're not competing, it's a little different because that super high risk is gone. But a lot of people, like, it gives you confidence because you're like, hey, if I go out to this, even like a sports event, and there's 100 people, someone tries to steal my wallet or hurt me or hurt my family, like, maybe they can get me, but I can hold them off for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, a gun's a gun, it's just nice to have that confidence. It gives you confidence. But the fact of the matter is you are learning how to break somebody. Mm-hmm. And the saying is you're never done with the sport, but one day it's done with you because you learn how to break someone piece by piece and slowly wear them out. And you do that for 25, 30 years. Eventually, you're just not the same. Like, you have all the skills, but your body's taking a hit.
Yeah.
And so it is not like you have a limited time in MMA. If you want to do it, it's very limited. And yeah, everyone leaves the same way. Every pro fighter, they go out embarrassed on their back, knocked out. There's only been like 2 people that, rode off into the sunset. Everyone goes out the same way. If you do it long enough,
and if they did, they're back in their dressing room just fucking hurting. They are.
Yeah, everyone goes out knocked out. They can't compete anymore. They're forced to quit.
They're just done.
Yep.
That's a good point though, because Sarah and I were talking about wanting to do a self-defense class after Miss May is born, and you were saying, no, you guys gotta try some jujitsu.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
I'm not. I wait till like September, October.
I get asked that question a lot. Like, what's the best self-defense? And I tell them, I'm like, depends. What do you want to do? I'm like, if you're a guy, you're probably gonna get in a street fight. Learn how to box or kickbox because no one's gonna try to take you down. I'm like, if you're a woman, what's your biggest fear? Someone's gonna try to rape you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And which means they're gonna be up close. So I always tell them learn jujitsu because jujitsu teaches the smaller person how to beat the stronger person, and you're touching each other. And so if you learn jujitsu, you're unrapeable, is what I always tell people.
Boom.
Done.
Unrapeable.
Let's get Caroline in at the age of like 3.
3.
Watch, she's gonna be a famous fucking MMA fighter when she
know.
grows up.
her name's gonna be Miss May.
The new Amanda Nunez.
You know Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
Yo.
Who is the other chick that beat her? The last fight we saw together.
Oh, she beat Megan Anderson.
Megan Anderson. She's the model too, right?
Yeah,
that girl's fire.
she's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong.
Fighter.
But she's also like a model, like a real life model. Like she's sexy. She's sexy.
She's a real life model.
Yeah.
She's not even a model. She's a real life.
Well, like
she's not a Barbie, you guys. It's real life.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah, she fought Amanda Nunes and she got wrecked. It was like 40 seconds. You were like,
it was pretty fast.
Damn.
Like,
but chick is wild. Like, holy fuck.
She's probably been training for a while.
I would not. Nope. She would murder me. But I know this might be a dumb question, but for those who don't follow the sport, like, what kind of point system is in place? Like, say nobody gets knocked out and they're trying to depict a winner based off of each round. Like, what's a point system look like? Like, each time you punch someone, you get 2 points, or like, how's it go?
So in boxing, the boxing rule set is it's a 10-9.
Okay.
So the winner gets 10 points, the loser gets 9. If they got dominated, like say like, okay, he's still awake. Like he's there, but he got like wrecked. It's a 10-8. And they add up the totals at the end. But it's kind of hard because like in MMA, there's grappling and there's different point systems for grappling, striking, all that. So it's based off who did the most damage, who was in control, like who, like if I stepped forward and I made you go backwards and like I was in control of like, okay,
Gotcha.
this is where the fight's going to take
Who's
place.
leading?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's a dance.
damage.
It's a dance.
Who's leading, total strikes, control time. Like if I sat on top of you and we grappled, even though if I didn't do any damage, if at the end of the day I was in the dominant position, they'll give it to me.
That makes sense.
So it's damage, control, and then position really.
Yeah, and you said the like main core components are striking, grappling, submission, right?
Mhm.
Did I miss anything?
No, you can knock someone out on the feet. You can fight them standing up. You can like grab them and try to like take them down or knee them in the face while touching.
Yeah.
Or you can just be on the ground and beat them up. Or
Beat the
Beat 'em
fucking
up.
shit out of him. So, I mean, what do you prefer? Like, do you like to stand with your opponents or you take them to the ground? What's your favorite strike or submission to use in any fight?
so I'm a little smaller. So I like to strike because if someone's bigger than you, they can out grapple you because they weigh more. They're going to tire you out. They're stronger, right? I like to kick people in the face. I like to strike. And yeah, so I feel like, I don't know. Why would you want to like hug someone and, you know, snap an arm if I can kick you in the head and
Knock you out faster.
yeah, and I always think like all the like most famous, like what do people want to see? A crazy knockout like Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor. Like who are the most famous fighters in the world?
Wasn't
They're
Mike
knockouts.
Tyson the guy that bit off a dude's ear
He was. Yeah.
in a fight, right? Yeah.
Is that-
He literally
So people are probably like, "Okay, no eye gouging, no fish hooking,
no biting, no
please
pulling
no
hair.
biting hair ears off. We're not dogs. God,
Yeah.
We're
so,
having a Marilyn Manson moment in the fucking octagon. Like,
whoa, man.
so he was basically losing and he didn't want to like lose, right?
He's
So
pulling on. He's
they were like in the clinch, you know, leaning on each other, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll just try to bite the dude's ear off." And he did it twice, and
twice. Yo, no,
Yeah.
you know who he is. He's the guy with the face tattoo.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know, yeah.
Fucking wild.
that's funny with Mike.
bit two people's ears off.
No, so he
Okay.
tried once,
Clean
and
off
the ref,
like a carrot.
The ref was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. That's not a rule, but that's not okay."
Like, let's be honest, it's not a rule, but it's like an unspoken rule.
And then he tried it
Yeah.
again, and the ref was like, "The fight's over. Like his ears, like his ear
Gone.
fell off. They need to go stitch
Like
it."
his whole ear.
He bit
So-
it
or
the
like-
fuck off.
Yeah, like so his ear was like on there, and like they put it back on, but like it ripped off. It'd be like.
So like, okay, so when you say
Stitches.
whole ear, is it like you have like your your ear and like the whole thing came up, or is it just like the outside of your ear?
So imagine if you took a bite of an
Google it,
Oreo,
Sarah.
just like a solid bite of your ear. Not
okay,
the same, like,
I have to know because when you say whole ear, I'm like thinking like this whole goddamn thing just,
Well, I mean,
like
think
gets
of-
ripped off and you have a hole in your side
if
of your
you
head.
if you saw Alicia with half her ear off, you'd be like, she lost her whole fucking ear, or she just walked like you'd be.
yeah, that just yeah.
Yeah.
How many people you seen?
I don't
with
think
half
it
an
matters
ear?
if it was half your ear
don't- why
or the
does-
whole
why
ear.
does-
The
Yeah,
ear is
your
still
ear.
fucking gone, my
Wait,
guy.
So, like now it's like I can think of like cartoons just like taking a top out of an ear and it has like those little like divots in it. Like that's what I see now.
Wait,
like when I hear
no,
like
this
ear.
this is perfect for it. What's in the fucking box? Like, it's this ear.
It's his ear.
Ring ring. That's fucked up.
There's his ear. Don't mind, poor guy lost his ear. Oh my god! Talk about a case of a cauliflower ear.
Oh yeah. So talk about the long term effects that fighting like this can, the toll it takes on people's bodies.
So obviously, like, you're gonna have injuries where like you're hurt, you messed up, you need days off, you sprained this, bruised this, and that.
Thank you.
But the permanent things is that, so they call it virgin nose. So if you look
like
at
your cute virgin nose.
yeah, I have a virgin nose. So when you fight long enough, you're going to break your nose. And not all breaks are that bad. Some are okay. Some of you don't even have to put your nose back. But when you fight, like, it's the center of your face. It's going to
People are
get...
gonna know.
What, you
Yeah,
don't
it's
want an
gonna-
Owen Wilson nose?
No, you know he used to be a pro skateboarder?
That doesn't shock me at all.
So,
That's probably why his
super
nose
odd
is
fact.
jacked.
Odd fact of the day. But so you break your nose a lot, but you get cauliflower ear. And for those of you who don't know what it is, Google it. But your ear
Gnarly.
swells up, and it looks like a whoopee cushion flat to a whoopee cushion inflated. Imagine your ear is a whoopee cushion. This ugly as fuck. And people are, so what you can drain it out of there, but what it is, the blood ruptures vessel and they get fat. And people are like, well, you can just drain the blood. Well, it comes back and you have to do it over and over and over and over. And eventually it will go away if you do it. And people are like, well, why don't MMA fighters do it? And it's like, because it's ungodly painful. And they're like, well, they're MMA fighters. They're used to getting hit. And I'm like,
That's different though.
yeah, but the fact that someone's job is to get hit in the face and they don't do it because it's painful.
That's like different.
If you're going to do
like,
MMA, you're going to get cauliflower ear, and the odds are like you got to live with it because like if not, you can't, like it is so painful. I have some friends who are getting it and we've been training the same amount of time and like I haven't got it yet, but I've had like 4 friends who are starting to get it and I'm like, fuck, like if I keep training, like I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, this year, slowly but surely, and I'm like,
You're gonna have a cauliflower ear.
I might get ear pads. Start
Oof.
training with ear pads.
Yo, no, that
Yes.
reminds me because I asked you a while ago, what do they rub all the fucking Vaseline up on all the fighters?
Make them look oily.
Shiny. They're glistening under the
So they look,
fluorescence.
they look,
Okay,
they look
so-
happy.
When you put the Vaseline on, we look totally fabulous. Like our skin, the imperfection. No.
We want to
So-
be glistening.
You get an applause for that.
Oh,
Oh my
your
god.
face.
That was really good.
Well, you know, I had a couple of friends, right? And I had a roommate one time, and he was totally like a little south of the border.
Oh my
made a fat
god.
out of
Can
it.
you please be my best friend?
We need to like videotape that shit. like,
But so the Vaseline, they put it in your nose mostly, and so if you get like a bloody nose, it'll kind of clot the blood. But Vaseline kind of opens it's like a Vic stick or like a scent, it opens your airway so you can still breathe, but it's also gonna clot. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
But they'll put it on your face that way it kind of soaks in the blood and doesn't let it pass. It
so
kind
it
of
clots it faster. and holds
it's
it
like an
clotted.
oil in a water. Like oil can't really flow through water, and
Right.
blood can't throw through Vaseline.
Sure. That makes
And
sense.
Yeah,
so
that's
what they
good.
do is like if you're cut up and you're pouring, like you'll see guys at the end of round 1, you're like, dude, he's bleeding so bad. They got to stop this fight. He goes over to the corner. They'll throw a bunch of Vaseline in the cut. The blood can't penetrate the Vaseline.
It's like a shit ton of Vaseline too.
Yeah,
big
they
old
put a-
blob. Like here's your whole hand. For
It's
that
like
little cut.
lard. Like, let's just.
And then after they're like, okay,
Honestly.
push the Vaseline out. Let's put some stitches in there, and you're gonna have.
You're like, and we're gonna clean it out really fast. Okay, you're good.
What's funny about the end of a fight? So at the end of a fight, if you get hit, like you're gonna look like you got hit, but
You're still
it's-
gonna look pretty good.
There's
Yeah.
that. Especially if you have a virgin nose.
yeah, but
virgin
about
nose.
2 to 4 days after the bruises start showing. So if you got hit in the face 50 times, 2 to 4 days later, you're gonna look like you got like people are gonna be like, dude, you look like Rihanna after Chris Brown.
Oh
Like
my
you're
God.
swollen,
They'd be like, "Did you get hit by a bus?"
and you're like, kind of did.
Yeah,
You're like,
it
his-
was more of a
basically.
train.
Like his fists were pretty, equivalent to a bus.
Did I ask you that question about whether or not you have to get hands registered? Or was
No.
that last night?
That was
That was
night.
last. Okay, so for those of you on the podcast, we tried this last night. Disclaimer, but so this is hard talks where we drink. We got too wasted and it didn't work. So
It
this
was
is
bad.
This is hard talks hangover edition. But so
Midnight
the
special.
register hands
Ring.
thing is a myth.
Yeah.
The only way. So the definition of pro is like you get paid to fight.
Mhm.
So fighters are not held to the same standard. We kind of mentioned like LeBron James or like Tom Brady. If they like were to go do something, it's going to be publicized in the news. They could get fired, right?
Yeah.
The greatest fighter of all time, John Jones, was the champion He was champion for 10 years, still is champion. It was like 7 years. He hit a pregnant lady on cocaine in his Bentley.
My
Wasn't
God.
on the news at all. Did a couple days in jail.
Oh my God.
But they're not held to a standard because people are like, oh, you get punched in the face for a job.
It's like he needs the cocaine to like help his mind even focus.
Yeah, like
in a way.
You have like A-list celebrities and like Joe
That
Rogan's
nose
up
candy.
there. But at the end of the day, they're like, he's a fight commentator. Like,
Let's be honest.
I
Those-
love
yeah.
fucking Joe Rogan, man. I fucking love that guy.
but at the end of the day, you wouldn't put him up there with like Donald Trump's. You're like, he's a fight commentator.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, but like, he's one of the.
I'm all about the Joe Rogan experience. Boom, bam.
the blonde
Boom,
talks,
bam.
the hard talks.
Hippie approved. We love you,
Hippie
Joe.
approved.
Well then.
Oh my God. So, what makes a good, I know this is a loaded question, but do what you will with it. What makes a good MMA fighter? Obviously, coordination, agility, and strength is like key. You want that. But
maybe.
Like, what would you say is like most important, especially if someone hasn't had experience and they're starting out? Like, what should they focus on?
First, the thing is, like, the sport's not for everybody. Like, some people love to train, but when it comes to actually getting hit, they're like, I love training. I don't like getting hit.
Yeah.
And don't be like, oh, I'm a pussy. Like, no, dude, it sucks. You really,
No
like, you have
one
to be
wants to
like-
get hit in the face.
you have to be like, I really enjoy this enough that getting hurt's so,
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
be an adrenaline junkie like Stockton.
yeah. Sorry, what was your question? I got a little off topic.
No, you're good. What would you say makes, quotes,
but-
a good MMA fighter?
So first it has to be right fit, but the main thing I would say is if you have that in you where you're not going to quit, you're okay with getting hurt on a regular basis, that the biggest factor is conditioning. Is if I can fight longer than you can, even if you're more tired, if I can get my ass kicked for 3 minutes, but after 3 minutes, you're like, dude, this guy's still here and he's not going anywhere. And in 10 minutes, I'm not going to have anything left and he'll still be here. He's not as good as me, but he'll still be here.
Yeah.
That's your biggest fear. If someone can just stay in there and not go out, they can be less talented. They could be less skilled. They can have less power. Someone can fight longer than you can. There gets a point where you get so exhausted that it doesn't matter how talented you can be. You can be the best fighter in the world. If you're so exhausted you can't defend yourself, the guy who has the better conditioning will win because he can keep going. Okay, he can only hit you once every 5 seconds, but if you can't hit him every 20 seconds because you are that tired, like you are on your hands and knees out of breath, like it doesn't matter
You're like
yeah.
trying so hard to stay up. You're just
Yeah.
like, I can't.
You want to,
Yeah,
all
you
about
wanna
that
quit.
stamina, motherfuckers.
It's all about
The
that
stamina.
stamina.
It's
stamina.
Yo.
That's the
It's
biggest
stamina.
advantage.
stamina.
It's stamina, but I call it stamina.
I'm done with that word.
I like that word. It's my new favorite word.
You want to be the fucking blow up doll that just keeps popping back up.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen there's a show on HBO Max. Yes. It's called Made for Love.
Of course it is.
Oh my god, it's freaking hilarious. So this guy makes a chip and he puts it in his wife's head and she doesn't know about it. So it has a dolphin. Yeah. He said like a computer chip. So it's like he basically made for love. So it's communication. So he can see everything she feels, sees, whatever. And there's a dolphin in it.
On like a heart mod. Of course there's a fucking dolphin on it.
There's a dolphin and a synthetic lover.
I have a synthetic lover.
So, and he calls her Diane and he's like, will you please talk to Diane when you're in here? So she's like literally like she's like cross-eyed and she's creepy looking and it's her dad. It's actually pretty funny.
Ring ring. Fucking Sarah's tangents, man.
You're welcome.
Do you need a synthetic lover?
You can buy one online
Yeah.
for top dollar of $6,000.
Hard Talks discount. For synthetic
I mean, I will
lovers.
find one. You want a synthetic lover? I will
Dude.
find you one.
I'm gonna get you a blow up doll for your birthday.
Me?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with a blow up doll?
Do whatever the fuck you want it with it.
I want
don't
a
care.
Can you
I
scissor
want-
blow up doll?
I'm absolutely sure you can.
I want a synthetic lever, so it's more real.
With enough, driving
If I'm gonna have
force
to have
to make it happen, you can. You'll figure it out.
Oh, girl, I got it.
So, how long do you think it takes for professionals to recover from big fights?
So this is what's funny is like a lot of people are like, you don't get better at anything by not doing it, right? Like if you want to learn the violin, you have to practice.
What?
Fun fact,
Yeah.
Stockton plays the violin.
I do.
I used to back in like
What?
junior high.
Oh, you do? Orchestra?
Yeah. I just want to try. I was sick of piano. So
Do you
I'm
see
like, I want
those
something
memories
new.
flash over her
Right.
face? Like,
It was a fun time.
Oh, Mormon Sarah. Anyways, continue.
Sorry, what was the question? I've had a couple shots.
No, that is some good Irish whiskey.
Proper
Brought-
12.
You came in clutch. How long do you think it takes for a professional? The professionals who have these huge fights to really recover because they get rocked.
So training is where you take the most damage. You'll take the most damage in training because, like my coach said, you want to test yourself most in training so the fight's easier. But that's what cracks me up is like with a fight, if you go out there and you knock someone out in a round, first minute, nothing. Training did. And you trained really hard. But in a fight, if it's a really close, if you watch one of those dog fights, you're like, dude, that fight this weekend, we were so drunk, it was great. They went back and forth, beat the shit out of each other. Is you don't get better in that fight. You lose some of yourself. Mm-hmm. You walk in there, they say 100%. You leave there 93.
Yeah.
Because this guy beat the fuck out of you so bad. You didn't know where you were. But you were trained. You were trained and you knew no matter what, you have enough skills, talent, and knowledge that it's just muscle memory. You're going to fight until you're out. You're going to fight no matter what. You can be out and you'll see guys wake up.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to fight. They're like, what do you mean I lost? They're like, dude, you got knocked out bad.
You're like you
Bad.
But
you were hard cold out.
the after effects of a dog fight is you're not the same person. You can get, they call it punch drunk. Uh-huh. You will eventually kind of get a little kind of like someone who's taking too much acid or something like that. Or
those people,
Or
just vibe at a different frequency than everyone else. You know
you're
what I'm saying?
you're not as smart as you used to be. But when it comes to if I have to fight again, I can't go to that same place because when I fought this guy, he took 2% from me. This guy took 5% from me. This guy took 3%. This guy took 1%. This guy took nothing. I knocked him out in 30 seconds. But after you have 30 fights, you're like, I can't go. I can dig deep. I'm more talented. I'm better. But there's a point now where my body, it will say no. And that's what sucks is, like I said, everyone goes out on their back embarrassed because it's not that you can be the most skilled in the world. But there gets a point where your body cannot take it anymore. And
I just imagine the aftermath, and it's not just with this sport, but I mean football players, fucking hockey players,
even supercross people.
Oh fuck yeah, BMX and everything. Oh my god, you poor body.
Your body.
But
is,
I imagine
broken.
being those people because they, the televised portion of everything ends. Win or lose, they go out in glory because they just had this epic fight. I can only imagine being that person and rolling out of bed the next day. You know what I mean?
It's fine.
So, before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask,
what gym or team are you training with?
So I train at One Hit MMA in Layton, Utah.
Yeah.
Come by. We have a lot of good guys there. Court McGee's in the UFC. He started there. Doesn't train there anymore. He trains at the Pit in Salt Lake. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So we have a lot of good guys, but it's a great place to train. It's so you have a couple gyms. You have gyms that are hey, get in shape, learn how to fight, and then you have gyms that are come to the fights this Saturday. We got 3 dudes fighting.
They're intense.
Yeah, they're different. So it's hey, you want to learn how to fight but not take it too serious? Let's get the workouts. And then there's the gyms where it's like, this is for real. This is what we do. There's
like
a science.
we're making you to like the UFC here.
Yeah. So there's those two type of gyms that I train at the second. So
Gotcha.
Way cool. And who would be your who would you want your dream fight with someone
Before you answer that, do you know who you're fighting on June 18th?
I'm fighting some kid named Michael Luna. I gotta look up his name.
You're gonna win.
You're
gonna win.
Nick Luna.
You're gonna win.
My dream fight. So my dream fight would be Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor. Why? Because I'm gonna make bank. But aside from that, the money fight. That's what I always tell people. People are like, why do you fight? If you fight professionally, every coach will tell you this. And if they tell you something different, you need a new coach. The reason you're fighting is you are taking damage for money. You want the easiest fight for the most money. If anyone tells you different, it's about legacy. It's about it's about being the best. They're an idiot. You are going to go in there and you're going to get hurt. And those are going to be permanent. You will never be the same.
No.
Your job is to take the easiest fight for the most money and set yourself up. You're not supposed to take the hardest fight.
And wasn't it you who told me too that they put pretty much amateurs up against these big card fights these? In boxing,
Floyd Mayweather is 51-0.
And how can you possibly be 51-0 in a sport?
If you're 51-0, your sport's not real. LeBron James can lose on Friday night and win the NBA championship on Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people expect him to lose. In boxing, they say if someone loses once, they're bum. So what they do is they take the best guys in the world, someone who's 28-0 or 28-1. Let's put him against this guy that's 30-30. They don't fight the best because they want to be this guy's the best. No one can beat him.
It's all out.
Oh, I'll show you no one can beat him. Here's 50 fights he's been. Well, he's never fought anyone good.
Yeah.
In the UFC, you have champions who are 30-10.
So it's rigged.
Yeah, you're well, this guy loses 25% of the time. You're yeah, but he's also fighting the best.
But it's all about a payout for the champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked.
in boxing, it's just the marketing of he has to be undefeated. He has to be the best. In MMA, they're LeBron James lost on Saturday. This guy can lose January and be the champion in July. It's about your last fight, not about all your fights. So that's the difference between boxing and UFC.
So I don't know anything about anything. What do you mean by 51 or 30-30? What does that mean?
So it's your win-loss record. So it's win, loss, no contest or draw. So if a rule is broken, say you accidentally soccer kick someone to the head.
How do you accidentally do that?
Say they tripped and you were running after them and you can't hit someone in the back of the head. Because you're very vulnerable to get knocked out and have actually severe brain damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you hit someone in the back of the head and they do get knocked out, they might call it a no contest. Or if you poked them in the eye 7 times,
So
they're
it's
gonna be
yeah,
no
it's
contest.
just depicting their winning streak. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if someone what he's saying is 50-0, he's won 50 fights and he's lost 0. That's why it's fucking rigged. Because
there's no way you could not lose a fight.
statistically, it's unlikely.
I mean, you have people who go to the Super Bowl that are 12-4.
Yeah.
They lost 25%.
I mean,
There's no shame in that.
no, but but with
You're the best 3/4 of the time.
But with fighting, it's how can you not lose? Because you do get some brain damage up there.
yeah.
So how do you not How do you win 50 fights and lose 0?
That's what always cracks.
It's rigged.
That's just you're just what?
So there's 2 guys. There's Habib, who's 29-0. He's legit the only undefeated guy in MMA. And John Jones, he's 8-0. But if they keep one guy retired, one guy's still fighting. If he keeps fighting, he'll lose. But
That's a little bit. I can see 29-0, but 50-0.
yeah,
That's a lot of fights.
Because you got to realize maybe the first 12, it was pro, but it wasn't the elite level.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now you're like in the Bellator UFC. Well, you're not fighting the best until like the last 5. So you beat 5 of the best, which is still phenomenal, but you know, it's really they do test you.
Yes, they do. What does the future hold for you? Like, do you want to continue this or like what?
I know you said you didn't want to like, I'm gonna be a fucking professional, but you know.
I mean, say I became the best in the world and I was just good at it. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere with it. But no, I started pretty late. I just want to have enough balls to say I hopped in the ring and fought another guy. It's on the bucket list. Just have some, mostly know how to defend myself is the biggest one. It's like, if I don't have a gun and someone tries to like stab me, can I hold them off for 30 or 60 seconds? Okay.
You just gotta hit him hard enough.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Keep hitting them.
Keep hitting him.
My goal is just to have fun, and I really want to just test myself and see like what if there was a real situation, what can I really do? How can I find out? Well, I can go put myself in a real situation.
Well,
I mean,
but you're funny because you're like, this is like prime opportunity. I get to go in and rock someone's socks off without getting in trouble. And it's a win-win because even if I lose, I still get paid. Hey.
whatever, it works.
Yeah, because like I can put this dude in the ICU. Like I can hit him when he's knocked out. I can knock his teeth out. Like I can hurt this guy. I can let every demon, every emotion out I have. And like I can't get in trouble. And they're gonna pay me. I'm getting like $75.
That's
but
such a trick to say out loud. I don't know.
yeah, imagine someone you just hate, and you could beat the fuck out of them for 9 minutes.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I would win.
Would you feel good after though? You'd be like,
I would be like, who cares?
I'm just a sad soul.
They had it coming.
I'm a soft soul.
I'm scrappy.
I'm not. I go in the fetal position, be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh, do you have a joke of the day for me before we wrap this up?
yeah.
No.
So I have a couple jokes. What did one tampon say to the other tampon?
I was gonna say that one. Oh, this is good. Restart. Sorry.
What did one tampon say to the other tampon?
I don't know. How you hanging?
Nah, nothing. They're both stuck up bitches.
Okay. Yes.
All right. What's the difference between a tornado and a hot blonde in the South?
Absolutely nothing.
You're right. First, there's a lot of sucking and blowing, and then someone's losing the trailer.
God damn it.
So I worked construction. Fair warning. That's where I got all my jokes.
All your dirty jokes.
What's the difference between menstrual fluid and sand?
Oh my God.
They're both gritty.
I can't gargle sand.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, you're welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in thus far.
I got more.
I know you do.
All day.
I know you do. If you want to support Stockton in this upcoming fight, you can do so by following the link that we will put in our show notes. You can watch it on YouTube or you can find it on pay-per-view. There are tickets that are for sale if you are local to Utah and you want to come in person, come to a fight. Again, it's at Union Square.
Union Event Center. Hit up Alicia. Alicia. Okay.
That's how we met. Fun fact.
No, she didn't think I could remember her name, but she asked me every 5 minutes, you know who I am? I'm like, I'm well aware.
I'm well aware.
But she can get you tickets. I can get you tickets. Just hit us up. They'll be there. $35 or $65.
And what's the difference? What's the $65 one?
So I got all my
table.
So there's 2 sections at the fight. There's drinking and non-drinking. Mm-hmm. I got all my tickets in drinking because I know my friend base.
Yes, you do.
So the $65 tickets, you get a table, you get to sit down, relax. They bring drinks to you.
And it
You're
seats
chilling.
10, yeah.
And excuse me. The 35, it's standing. You're on the second level, but you're still super close. Mm-hmm. You can walk around. You can walk around downstairs. You can go everywhere, but you're standing. You don't actually get like your own table.
Okay.
But like you're still like super close. I always get standing because I like to go to the bar. I don't want to stay in my seat.
You're a wanderer.
I'm a wanderer.
Like to wander.
So that's
Yeah,
good.
so if you are interested in tickets, you can directly message Stockton Weese, Weese, on Instagram.
Stockton HD12.
On Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, you're on Facebook.
I am Slow Kid 68 on Snapchat. That is the best way. SLOWKID 68. Facebook, yeah, I'm on there. If you can find me, I'll respond eventually.
Yeah, if you can't get a hold of him, you can message us directly as well at Hard Talks with B&H on Instagram or Facebook. Definitely go give us a like and follow, share the content, jump on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review. You'll have no idea how much that helps us on the business end of things.
I like it.
It's
I like it a lot.
huge. But yeah, shoot us a message if you want tickets and we'll get them for you. If you enjoyed this episode, if you want to be part of the conversation, if you want to suggest conversation topics, what the fuck ever, you just want to say, hey, slide into our email at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. We want it. We have a couple shout outs today.
Yes, we do.
Sarah, what are they?
They are Rebecca W.
Bitch been listening since the beginning, girl. Applause for you, baby.
We got Nikki S.
Oh, I love her.
Nikki.
And Haven. Yes.
Nikki and Haven. Bailey A.
Bailey Awesomeness.
Bailey Awesomeness.
Bailey Arnold. Thank you, Bailey Arnold, for the kind emails. We love to hear from you.
We got Amanda J. from Montreal, Canada.
Yes.
Oh, Canada.
Applause for you, girlfriend. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
I don't know the rest of the songs. I'm American.
All the applause.
We got Alexis C.
From Anchorage, Alaska.
Hey, Alaskan.
Yes, girl. And congratulations to you growing that little bean in your belly.
She's pregnant too?
Yeah, you guys have been on a pregnancy journey, and she was saying that she loves to hear about what size Miss May is.
Well, I'm 27 weeks, so she's a cabbage.
A capage.
A cabbage. Alexis, if you are listening, I have the app. It's called What to Expect, and I actually really like it. It tells me every week what she is. You can change it to, like, I have it on fruits. You can have it as like small little
Vegetables.
like 19 little toys or whatever. But I just like the vegetables. So I know what a cabbage is.
I know what a cabbage.
Like, let's be honest.
It's a turnip this week.
A
turnip, an onion.
It's kind of fun because I screenshot it and I sent it to like my mom, my stepmom.
It's exciting.
Like just people.
It's exciting.
It's fun. We got Eddie D.
Eddie D.
Eddie.
Oh, this motherfucker cracks me the fuck up.
I feel like he should be on like Jersey Shore.
Oh no,
Eddie D.
He literally he kills me. He works with me, and he gets a shout out because he came up to me. He's like, "Yo, bitch, I'm listening to you on Spotify." I'm like,
Spotify.
Props to you, Eddie. Thank you. High fives.
We have Mikhail
Eastbrook.
See, I didn't want to do that, and you did that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll probably get some of these names wrong each
Right?
episode we record.
Whatever.
It's okay.
It's
You're
fine.
going to have a listener like, I've been avid for 1734 episods and they couldn't even pronounce my first name.
Or you could be
Right?
like Stockton and get just tipsy enough where he calls me the wrong name to this day.
Alicia, it's fine.
That's who I am literally in his contacts. Alicia. Yeah.
I like it. I like
It was
that.
so funny. I met a black lady. There's two people I met with your name. They're both black. And I was like,
I'm the
you're
only white
Alicia.
Alicia,
I was
straight
like,
up.
you're Alicia, huh? And she's like, yes. I'm like, I'm guessing you go crazy when people call you Alicia
Or Alicia.
Alicia. And she's like, oh my God, how did you know? And I was like, I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Mikhail's amazing. We're going to have her on in a couple of weeks to talk about her experience and just living her best life. Like,
God
seriously,
damn.
she, mother of two,
Badass
competitive.
bitch.
She used to be a competitive pole dancer. She's beast.
Wait,
Pole dancers are
competitive
just
or
like-
No,
she was
like-
a stripper.
No,
like,
it's a sport.
Like, you can sport it. And that shit is like...
It is amazing.
like, you have to have upper body strength to hold your goddamn
requires
body.
so much body strength. But she's just she's going to school. She's a BN student and nursing student right now, doing that full time.
Cheese and rice.
You know, she's gonna talk to us about, you know, her hardships with her sexual assault while she was enlisted in the military, and she's just a strong ass bitch. So I'm really
excited.
stoked to have her on. She's incredible. It's gonna be awesome.
Applause
For Mikhail. Yes, you're gonna love her.
Last but not least, Hannah B.
Hannah B. And Brody.
Brody.
Oh, yes, they're together. And they're adorable. And I love them. And thank you guys for the support and
Hannah B
listening.
and Brody.
Listening since the beginning, bitches.
Hey-o.
Y'all the realest.
We love y'all bitches.
All the bitches.
All the bitches. We love you all the bitches.
Oh, God damn it. Well, all that being said, do you have anything else you'd like to say to Stockton?
No, it was nice meeting you, brah.
Thanks for coming on the show and, you know, educating us about your
had
sport.
no idea.
You're gonna go into this fight so prepared, and you're gonna kick some major ass. That Nick Luna.
That was a Nunez.
No,
Luna.
he don't stand a chance.
Well, thank you, ladies. You boosted my confidence even more than it already was. So violence.
Who said I was?
And after party alcohol. I won't be able to drink for like 3 weeks before it, so I'll be like the first fight of the night, and then we're getting fucked up the whole time, guys. So come over. There will be so much beer.
All the beer.
all the beer.
All the beer.
All the beer.
Oh, I had to give one last shout out to Bosto, Stockton's friend.
Boston.
He was here last night with us. And it would have been an epic episode, but he wasn't able to make it today just because we had to re-record. But you are the real one, homie. We hope to have you back on in the future. And for everyone else, motherfuckers,
Have a good weekend.
have a great fucking week.
And
Make good decisions.
my birthday's coming up.
She's a birthday bitch.
I'm a birthday bitch. May 20th, bitches. Taurus.
We're gonna take Tauruses for life.
Tauruses. Hey, Taurus or Taurus?
We love hard, but we kill if someone fucks with us.
I mean, we don't have horns for nothing.
Well, that's very
Maybe.
true.
That's because
Maybe.
you're Mormon. You came from Utah. I've heard about that.
Yeah, and the tail.
She hides it well. Well, everybody,
I mean, hey.
we love you. Be kind. Be awesome. Have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Is not saying a lot.
No.
Until next time, guys.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. I'll talk about them.
Yeah.